This region was on high alert over the weekend as US embassies from the Gulf to here in Jerusalem warned American citizens of potential disruption and conflict to come, and Israeli media reported the IDF was preparing for potential Iranian attacks. But then the US president took to his Truth Social platform and said his military was locked and loaded to attack, but that he was cancelling planned strikes at the behest of Iran and some other countries in the region, insisting that a framework of a deal, including the complete and total reopening of the Strait of Hormuz, had come together, and that Tehran needed a bit more time to completely agree. Now that may have prompted a collective exhale across the Gulf states, but it hasn't been that well received in Iran itself. The Fars state news agency is citing Iranian negotiators in saying that there was no deal, there was no framework of a deal, particularly with regards to reopening the Strait of Hormuz. Other state-aligned media citing military sources to say that there was no request to halt those strikes. This may be part of a US psychological warfare campaign, and that Iran remains ready should there be any form of attack. What we do know is that the Gulf states had been working the phones in a frenzy over the weekend, trying to urge the United States to adopt diplomacy rather than dropping bombs. Saudi Arabia's de facto leader, Mohammed bin Salman, spoke to Donald Trump, the kingdom's press agency, saying the Crown Prince stressed the need for dialogue and achieving calm. Saudi Arabia has also been targeted by Iran in recent weeks, and it's now also facing the challenge posed by the Iranian-backed Houthis in Yemen, trying to block the country's oil tankers getting millions of barrels of oil onto global markets through the Red Sea rather than through the blocked Strait of Hormuz. So while the Gulf states have obviously played a role here, it is also important to remember those recent reports that stockpiles of things such as US interceptor missiles in the Middle East were running particularly low. It is also important to remember that Donald Trump has made declarations of imminent deals in the past. Before the interim agreement was signed in the middle of June, one tally said he had made 38 separate declarations that an agreement was imminent. Obviously, things can change quickly, particularly here in the Middle East, given these current circumstances. But it doesn't appear Iran is moving in the same direction that Donald Trump is insisting.